Brothers, as you saw at the outset of this meeting, COVID-19 has had a dramatic effect on Sigma Chi. In June of this year, Grand Consul Schuyler impaneled the COVID-19 task force. The task force responsibility was essentially put together a reopening plan for Sigma Chi that would enable us to continue to do the business of Sigma Chi this fall. The task force was populated with experts in the area of epidemiology, legal, insurance, chapter operations, and so forth. Their work was furnished on July 15th. Here to recap that is Chairman of the task force, our 69th Grand Consul, Mike Ursillo.
Thank you, Brother Sanderson. To say that this year has been challenging would be an understatement, as the global effects of COVID-19 pandemic have drastically altered the operations of Sigma Chi in our chapters and have directly affected the lives of each of our brothers and our families. In June of this year, Grand Consul Schuyler approached me with the important but daunting responsibility of chairing the COVID-19 Resource Review and Vetting Commission, comprised of industry-leading experts that were being charged with vetting the numerous COVID-19 related resources to provide a single set of comprehensive recommendations for how the fraternity should respond to the COVID-19 crisis. You know, I was apprehensive to say the least, but I'm thankful for the privilege of being able to work alongside this team of experts. They included Mark Anderson, Steve Davidson, Joe Fiore, Tom Samolsky, Sam Jarvis, Josh Hartman, Jacob Ball, Michael Church, and Dakota Neff, who worked diligently to provide recommendations and guidance to nearly every facet of the fraternity's operations. These recommendations were adopted by the Executive Committee and published in July, and numerous updates and modifications have been made since that time. I would additionally be remiss if I did not express gratitude on behalf of the fraternity for the tireless work of past Grand Historian and Ritual Master Eric Hansen for his leadership of the task force on modification to the ritual, which was comprised of Lauren Butler, Michael Codina, Bob Jones, Jacob Ball, Michael Burtz, Chris Hicks, Dan Mathewson, Adam Carrillo, Carter Ray, Pat Nolan, and Ethan Reeder, who created the recommended health and safety modifications to the implementation of our current ritual and the temporary founders initiation. For your information, currently there are 62 chapters operating entirely remotely. 162 are in a hybrid setting, and 17 are in person and 7 are limited in person. Additionally, as mentioned previously, there are still 670 pledges from 73 spring pledge classes that still remain on hold. I encourage everyone to continually review sigmachi.org/COVID-19 for updates to recommendations, guidance, and resources for chapters, volunteers, and members on nearly every facet of the fraternity operations as it relates to COVID-19. I would, however, like to take a moment to review a few of the most important recommendations with everyone. None of these will be a surprise to you. It's what we've been reading about and what we've been hearing about. The council of every chapter is ultimately responsible for the health and safety of the chapter, and each chapter should have a COVID-19 response plan uploaded to their chapter system. I must stress that fraternity, volunteers, chapters, and chapter leadership do not have liability coverage for COVID-19. So if someone were to get sick or worse with COVID-19 due to the actions of the chapter and its leaders, they could be held directly liable. Please just keep that in mind. Therefore, it is critical that each chapter and member follow all the health and safety guidelines from their school, their local government, national health officials, and the fraternity, including regularly washing your hands, using hand sanitizer, wearing masks, and the all-important maintaining social distancing. The fraternity strongly recommends that chapters do not host any in-person social gatherings, especially where alcohol is involved. in addition to conducting as much business as possible virtually, just like this Grand Council. The International Fraternity is adhering to this guidance as well, and all in-person meetings and volunteer travel have been halted until further notice. If a chapter does have any in-person functions, it is strongly recommended that they are hosted as third-party venues, following all health and safety guidelines, and that the chapters have members and guests go through health screenings and sign liability waiver forms that are found on the COVID-19 website. The fraternity strongly recommends that any chapter with a chapter house ensure that resident spaces are restricted to only members that live in the house. House corporations should work to implement the relevant health and safety guideline issues on the COVID-19 webpage and reach out to the Constantine Housing Initiative for any assistance as needed. If you're not able to safely conduct the ceremonies of initiation, it is recommended that chapters make use of the temporary founders initiation, details which have been previously circulated to all the chapters. Chapters can request to utilize this temporary initiation process in their chapter system portal. Brothers, this pandemic has been challenging on the mental health of each and every one of us. So please know you are not alone. Now more than ever, we must be there for each other. So I encourage you to regularly interact with your brothers in whatever capacity that you can. Please ensure that you and your brothers are utilizing the fraternity's available resources through the virtual Strong Arms program and the free Reach Out mobile application. The fraternity is monitoring the pandemic and its effects on our international and local chapter operations daily and reacting quickly to collect information, update guidance, and provide resources as needed. We sincerely appreciate the leadership and resilience of all our volunteers and chapter officers through this difficult time. Your willingness to quickly adapt to the ever-changing situation is a testament to your character, and believe me, it has not gone unnoticed. We still have a long road ahead of us, but we are in this together. So please continue following all appropriate health and safety guidelines so we can all see each other in person on the other side of this. And you know that will become a reality. If you have any questions about how to implement or adapt any of the fraternity's guidance to your unique situations, please work with your Grand Prators, chapter advisors, and regional chapter support coordinators. Please join us for our post-Grand Council breakout at the question and answer session, and hopefully we can continue to bring you up to date and answer any specific questions that you have about this pandemic. Brothers, stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you, Brother Ursullo. And I think I speak for all members of the fraternity when I once again extend my appreciation to you and the members of the task force for your excellent work. Any success Sigma Chi enjoys this year is due, in some part, to the work performed by you and the task force. Thank you, brothers.